Robbie D and the lesser known.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Robbie D and the Lesser Knowns. I'm your expert host, Robbie D. Well, what am I an expert of? I'm an expert of bringing you the truth. In a world so full of crap, it's nice to come to one place where your ears can be massaged by the gentle fingertips of the truth. Because you know what? You deserve it. With me, as always, Northwestern Writing Reject, producer Will.
Hello.
There he is, in a good mood today, looking sharp there, buddy. As you guys know, Robbie D and the Lesser Known, we take a look at the actors that truly make Hollywood work. Oh, I'm talking about the guest on Oprah, the guest on Ellen, Wendy Williams with The Amazing Life. No. I'm talking about the commercial actors that you fast forward through. I'm talking about the people who drive to an audition, pay for a meter, wait an hour to audition, come out to find they got a parking ticket, then go back and do the whole thing over again when they get a call back, just so you can fast forward over them taking a bite of their chalupa. And they do it all with a big smile on their face because they're following their dreams. I also don't have sponsors, so piss off Taco Bell for that chalupa mention. But let's get to it. Today's Lesser Known
Hi.
is really excited to be here.
I felt that was a good place for me to introduce myself.
I haven't said your name yet.
Hi.
Hello. Let me say the name. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
And today's Lesser Known is Tim Stoltenberg.
You keep pausing, and I feel like you want me to say hi in there.
I'm doing the intro. I don't understand why you can't figure it out. All right, it's not hard. Tim Stoltenberg's here. You know him from those delicious Zaxby's commercials. Southwest, where he's been everywhere.
That's right.
Dollar Shave Club with the creamy hands.
Ooh.
AT&T, I have no idea what happened there. You also might know him as a sign spinner. And my favorite, a Singing Telegram. If you're in the Atlanta area and got a Singing Telegram,
Ooh.
you may have gotten this fella. But most importantly, Tim Stoltenberg is an improv guru. Training at Second City, Dad's Garage in Atlanta, performing on the stages in Chicago, Los Angeles, and a cruise ship for a while.
Ooh, wow. I've always wanted to be a guru.
Well, you are.
Am I?
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a guru, you have to wear sandals and like a robe.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, you're not wearing that.
No.
Just for our female viewers at home, Tim's wearing jeans, a shirt,
A well-fitted shirt.
well-fitted shirt.
Muscles bustling underneath.
There's a couple there. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
That's right.
Nailed it. There's 3 of them. That's fantastic, Tim. Fantastic. Tim, I want to start at the beginning with your journey.
Okay, let's do it.
Your parents were having sex.
Okay, I think we can skip over this because everybody knows where this goes.
Okay, your mother was giving birth and began to crown.
Okay, I think we can go a little further.
Farther. And, hi.
Hey, and we're here.
Present day. Okay, then let's start from here then. But you're from Wisconsin?
Born and raised, small farm.
Plymouth.
Actually, outside of Plymouth, I'm a country boy.
Like John Denver.
Just like John Denver.
You had 2 brothers, and your parents were in the theater?
Yeah, my dad is a theater director, teacher at the high school, and then actually this weekend he's going to do his 50th musical at the high school he works at.
50th.
50th.
What's the name of the musical?
42nd Street.
Confusing.
It is confusing. It really is.
Can it just be 50th Street?
50th Street?
That would be so much easier. No, that's okay. And 2 brothers that are also in entertainment some way?
Yeah, the older one, Paul, is he's real smart. He's got an engineering degree, so he works for a company that builds and designs Broadway sets. He writes automation programs and designs stuff. And then the middle one, Andy, is a high school drama and theater teacher in Wisconsin.
Doing 43rd Street.
Doing 43rd Street for his 3rd musical.
That's fantastic. All right, so tell me, how were you drawn to the theater?
We grew up in it. You know, our parents would go to work, and babysitting was being at rehearsals. So we got a chance just to watch and be in there the whole time, and 10,000 hours. So I saw a lot of theater growing up.
10,000 hours.
It's a lot.
I don't think I've done 10,000 hours of anything.
I think my parents' biggest fear is that since we grew up in Wisconsin in the country, that we would grow up to be narrow-minded hicks. So they took us to a lot of cultural and theater events, so that we would be exposed to a lot of different parts of the world and ideas to show that, there's a lot out there in this world, not just, Sheboygan County where I grew up in.
I've been to Sheboygan.
Oh man, or as we call it, Shevegas,
Why do they call it that?
because it's the biggest city in that county. It's where you go. That's the only place that had a movie theater.
I've been to
So
Sheboygan Brewing Company.
yeah, which is good.
Yeah, it was good. Great beer. I'm
Very good beer,
impressed
yeah.
with the beer.
That's fantastic.
Sheboygan Brewery, looking for sponsors.
There you go, man. They would do it.
Well, it must have worked because you definitely are not a narrow-minded hick, and I think
I got a lot of views I want to express on you.
well, let's get started. Let's get started with 1998,
Oh,
the year you started improv.
yes. I was in college. I was doing a show at St. Norbert College, and they had two alumni come back to do it, Mike Essercon and Matt Sloan. And we would always goof around backstage in the wings, and afterwards, I don't know why you're chuckling. And then he said to me, you're doing improv. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I came and took a class from Mike, and that started doing Comedy Sports, Comedy City. And that started it. Hi.
So how did you get to Atlanta?
I was doing a show at St. Norbert called A Shayna Madel, written by Barbara LeBeau. And she came up and she's from Atlanta, and she came up and did a week with the theater department, with writing and directing.
God damn it, Ron.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
This is good. No, man, let's keep going. I'm not stopping. I'm in improv. I had nothing, no mistakes.
It's just
And so we
very good
became
storytelling.
friends, and she told me to come audition for her husband's company in Atlanta, the Academy, and I did. And then I got hired in their children's theater program, going and touring the South, doing social-driven plays for children.
the South, as in
Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Louisiana, South Carolina.
Did you ever go to Pensacola, Florida?
No, we never made it that far. We did the Panhandle. That's where the
That's where
real.
Panhandle-
Is it?
Yeah, Pensacola, right next to Mobile.
it's really close to the border.
Never been.
It's all right.
I've been to every county in Georgia. I know that.
All right.
And there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually, write that down as a special interest on your resume.
Yeah.
It's good. Not special interest, special skills.
My special interest, counties in Georgia. I'll take counties in Georgia for 200.
I was gonna say, that sounds like a
Yeah.
You're ready for jail.
That's fantastic. So you did a touring doing, what were the plays about?
We would, Frank Widow, the guy who ran it, would always create new shows about like social issues that children's face. So like one was about bullying and being bystanders. So we would generate these shows. He would give us ideas, and he was this older guy, and he'd sit there and he'd be like, Tim, I want you to explore the mentality of a bully in this next improv. And there was like 5 of us, and he'd assign us different parts. And then we would do what was called dream improv, which we would just do whatever we want for like 2 hours, and he would just watch and write things down. And then from that, he would like find moments that he would write into a play. So we did one about conflict resolution, bullying, sharing, teenage pregnancy, which we got tossed out of a school for.
Wow, so why?
Because like our shows weren't about what's right or what's wrong. It was showing you the possible outcomes of the situation, whatever it may be. If you fight, this could happen. If you don't fight, this could happen. If you choose to have sex as a kid, this could happen. If you choose not to, this could happen. And here's precautions on either side. So we're not telling kids what to do because they're going to make their own choice anyway. And let's be honest, you're not going to stop young kids from finding sexual experimentation. So we were in at this really nice school, and we finished doing one of 4 productions of Baby Blues was our teenage pregnancy. And these 2 women came up, and they're like, thank you all for coming in today, but we're not going to need the rest of the performances. And we're like, why? Did something happen? Like, we have a contract. Is there scheduling? She's like, no, our students don't have sex. And at the time, Georgia was like number 3 on teenage pregnancy. And we're like, they are having sex. But they were so narrow-minded that they're like, no, you need to leave now. And like, we talked to them, and they were very like Southern polite. Bless your souls, you need to go. And they kicked us out.
Lady, someone threw a bra at me from the front row during the show.
It was you, lady.
The students aren't having sex, but we
I
are.
saw them during the production. They were so bored.
Yeah, some kids skip this assembly to go fool around. Come on.
Why don't you go check the band room?
Yeah. So that was a great experience. Like, if you can get in front of 500 kids and do a show and have them believe you, that makes you feel good. That's true acting. Like, because kids aren't nice. They don't bullshit. Like, there were times if you weren't doing a believable job, they'd call you out. You'd be doing a show and they're like, no, literally,
Your acting is flat.
Yeah, especially when you do like in a show I had to be like a gang member bad dude, and I came on a couple times, and you could just hear kids like laughing, being like, "It isn't a gang, that guy." No, he's got curly hair.
He's
Maybe
from
the bow ties.
Wisconsin. Get him
Yeah.
out of here. With that Wisconsin ST3.
Wisconsin ST3.
STD3 Wisconsin.
STD. Wait, your gang member's STD?
Yeah.
That's a bad gang.
We're tough to get rid of.
We always come back.
You stuck with us for the life.
Yeah, baby. Unless you were bacteria, then you can get rid of us with some pills.
So it was a great way to like cut your teeth as an actor, because it was every day, a lot of performance and a lot of work, which was great. So I was very thankful for the opportunity to go train that way.
And it got you to Atlanta.
It did, yeah. And then in Atlanta, I met a guy named Tommy Futch who ran Laughing Matters, and I did improv in college because it was fun. And then when I got to Atlanta, I was like, oh, I should do this just as like training to keep myself as an actor doing things. And Tommy and I were working together, and like after a couple classes, he's like, you should go check out Dad's Garage. And I was like, why? He's like, I think you'd fit in there. And he took me over there and introduced me. And from there, I started working with them, took classes, did shows, and then became part of their ensemble. And now they are my artistic home.
Dad's Garage is an improv theater in Atlanta. It's not his actual dad's
No.
garage.
I wish. We didn't have a garage growing up.
You didn't?
No, we built one when I was in college for the homestead.
So that's interesting. What did you do with the car?
Left him out in the cold.
Dang.
Yeah, in Wisconsin.
Bold choice.
Where would you go to drink beer and watch sports when you're tired of the wife? What did Herb do?
I'd go to the barn, hang out.
Oh, you had a barn.
We had a barn,
Oh,
yeah.
that's like a garage on steroids.
It is, yeah. It was great.
Fair enough.
That barn holds a lot of secrets.
That's what we're here to talk about.
Barn secrets?
Yeah. Do you have? We know you want to tell us something.
About barn secrets?
Yes, your personal barn secret.
You know, I there's always that fantasy of like taking your girl up to the mow or the hayloft and like, fooling around in the hay. Never did it. And
That's not a fantasy for most other people.
It's not?
Only other barn owners have that
The
fantasy.
hay'll itch and
now you throw it on a blanket, it's boots and overhauls.
It's like a beach. It's one of those things that like seems good in your mind.
Yeah.
You get there's sand and there's bugs. And
Yeah.
there's seagulls
It's a
squawking.
chicken
above you.
watching you. It's just weird.
yeah, this show is going great.
Let's talk more about fantasy.
All right, so and this has been Barn Secrets.
Welcome back to Barn Fantasies. I'm Mark.
Let's take a few calls from our listeners.
Yeah.
Hear that,
What's your
Mark?
barn fantasy? I want to do it on a tractor.
So we're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
We started doing improv at Dad's Garage,
Did, yeah.
and that's when your career accelerated. You're laughing because I'm right.
Yeah. Dad's Garage is an amazing place. Like, it was so, our mentality is improv's a gateway drug to theater. That if we get people to come see improv and they would watch the show and be like, oh, you guys are so funny. And they're like, yeah, you should come see our play at 8:00. We're doing this. And they were like, all right. And they would come. And the next thing you know, they're supporting the theater. And it was a great way to get people to come to theater, support it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how did doing the improv parallel to success in acting?
I think it allowed me to realize that anything's possible and that nothing is ever wrong. It's just an opportunity. Go with it and see what happens. It forces yourself to not plan, but to think in the moment, which is the one thing as actors are always like, be present, be in the moment, which is really hard to do. But improv trains you that you're in that moment and you have to respond and react, which leads to another moment, which leads to another moment. And the next thing you know, you're not thinking, you're just being in that moment, like you and I are right now.
I'm sorry, I was thinking about what I got to do with my car later. Just kidding. No, that's very true. And because of all this training, you jumped into the Zaxby's commercial.
So Zaxby's, we're seeing a lot of people in Atlanta, and it was just coming in and eating chicken strip, and they're like, have a character and talk about the chicken strip through this character. So my character was, I like to go to concerts. I'm really into live music, and they're like, it's great. So I get cast in it. We show up for the day of shooting, and they're like, okay, just go in that room, walk around the corner, eat the chicken strip, and just start doing your bit. I'm like, okay, so you go in there, but there's nobody else around in this huge studio. There's this little like box with a mirror. And I walk in there and I'm like, hello? And you just hear this voice like, eat the chicken. And I was like, well, are you going to say like, go? And they're like, just eat the chicken and start talking. So I eat the chicken and then I realized like, oh, like they wanted to make it feel like it's like spontaneous. So I go in there and I do like a half hour about like chicken and
Half hour.
I did. It went forever. And I could hear them laughing in the booth and they'd be like, hey, go back and say that line again, but just don't curse in it or something. And it was great. And I went so long that I was like, do you want me to stop? And they're like, no, keep going. And eventually like, all right, I'm done. Like we've been doing this for like 45 minutes. Like
I can't eat any more chicken.
Like this is great. It's fun. It's done, but we're done.
He's crying into the strips. Oh God.
And then I had then they would cut all of them together for Zaxby's. And it was great. It was a really fun like first gig to have as a commercial.
And you got paid?
Non-union, yeah. But I got paid. yeah, it was a gig.
It's the first time you got paid to act, right?
Exactly. On camera for commercial was great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And a lot of TV shows are filmed in hot Atlanta. This is before the Atlanta boom, though.
Yeah.
But there still were a lot of shows being filmed there. Looks like you jumped onto Army Wives.
Yeah, Army Wives, yes.
You had one episode.
One episode.
And what was your character?
I was a homosexual photographer.
Yeah, but what was your character?
A homosexual photographer.
Oh, I got you. Fair enough.
It was funny because in the audition, the director was like, I need you to be like flamboyant about this. And I was like, what? He's like, I want you to play homosexual. I was like, okay, like one, can you say that to me? And two, is this going to work? So it was funny, but it worked. It was fine.
And how was your experience on the first time on a TV show?
Good and bad. I was a day player, so you come in for like one scene for like an hour's worth of work, and the regulars on there had been working all day. But one person, one of the actresses, was so cold and just like didn't give a shit. She'd always be on her phone. Anytime I would ask her or talk to her, just trying to be nice, she would just totally disregard me. So we did one take, and then she walked over to the director and like whispered in the ear and pointed at me. And he came over, he's like, hey, Tim, let's try it again. And like he gave me a couple notes, and like I was like, oh, she told you to say all of this. So that was little. I was like, I understand. I'm just a day player, but talk to me. I'm a person, and I was young. I was excited. But there was another woman, Delaney.
Kim Delaney?
Kim Delaney. She was amazing to work with. She talked to me. She asked me questions about myself and what I do, and then like afterwards, she walked out with me. We were on break for lunch, and we were walking back, and I didn't have my own private car. She did, but the car pulled up, and she's like, hop in. And I was like, no, and she's like, no, come on. Like, we're going to go 5 miles. Hop in, I'll give you a ride. And she was very sweet. She was so nice to talk to. And I was like, oh, this is what I would want to be if I ever had a career like hers. Like, be nice to everybody, include them. It just seems like a better way to work, and it seems more enjoyable for everybody. And I took that away. I was like, be nice to everybody on set, no matter what they're doing, and know who you are.
That's why I'm always so nice to producer Will.
Yeah?
He's not.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
I can't believe you got that bandana out of your mouth long enough to say something, producer Will. Let's get it back in there. That's fantastic. And also, you did a little Alton Brown show while you were there?
Oh, man, the pride of my joy. I love that show. Good Eats. So good. And I finally got in one episode. And to me, it was like meeting a celebrity, like Alton Brown, because I watch him all the time, and I would follow his recipe. Yeah, he is. I mean, he really is like a food celebrity. And I would do his recipes, so I got to work with him one day, and it was great. He was so nice. Funny guy.
And your experience is good.
That guy did everything on set. He was directing, he was writing, and he was editing, and like to see him work like that was impressive. And then he was just, hey man, we're gonna do this. I was like, great. Try again like this. Great. He's like, that was fantastic, man. So much fun. And like I still meet people today like, hey, I was watching Good Eats and I saw you on it. And I was like, oh yeah. I'm very proud of it.
Like, yeah. I pitched Alton a segment called Barn Fantasies, but he didn't really.
The weird thing, he listened for a good half hour inside this little booth, and then he just left.
That's fantastic. So you booked a bunch of stuff in Atlanta, but obviously this was not enough to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So what? Tell us about what you were doing on the side there for a little work.
I was a singing telegram for a period of time in my life.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. They always say like, yeah, you got to pay your dues in this business. No, you don't. And singing telegrams are definitely paying dues. Like it was, the job's not hard. Like once you learn the song and dance and you go and you do the bit, it takes 5 minutes, pays really well. The hardest part is getting to and from the gig because unlike conventional theater, there's no green room. There's no changing room. This is a people's theater. It's out in the real world. So you have to dress in your chicken outfit in your car and then walk the 2 blocks to the business, take the elevator up. And if you can survive that and do that, you can do anything in acting.
So, wait, you took the elevator dressed as a chicken?
One of them was you dress like a chicken and you go to somebody's like office and like, hey, I'm looking for Karen. And then they're like, oh, she's over there. And then everybody would gather around and like, Karen, I heard it was buck, 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 your birthday. And like you would do this little song and dance like as a chicken, like cluck, 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 you're whatever. I don't remember what it was, but dancing around like a chicken. And then like I would stand on a desk and crow and like.
Karen's just wishing she was dead the whole time.
Oh man, but people loved it. They loved it. They would see you walk in and they would grab you and like, oh my God, who are you here for? And I'm like, Karen. It's like, it's her 40th. She's down the hall and she has no idea. And then they always try to rope you to do other things like, would you mind stepping into my boss's office and being like, you're the new client? He would not get it. And I'm like, then I'm not doing it.
He would not.
Extra $100, I'll do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I should have.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Karen, and the funny thing is, Karen's probably the least happiest person to see, but everyone else is so excited.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't I perform for you people who are around excitedly watching? Whereas Karen's like, oh, jeez.
Make it end.
Another reminder I'm 40.
Yeah.
This time to a singing fucking chicken.
I remember I had to go into a bar one time dressed like a chicken. It was like Saturday night, like at 9 o'clock in like hot spot Atlanta and like walking down the street. Like, I was like, oh man. And like walking into the bar and the bartender's like, you got ID? I'm like, dude, I'm dressed like a chicken. I don't have anything on me. Just let me get this done.
Yes, I got my chicken ID.
Yeah.
Right
I
here.
got my squawker's license.
Yeah.
Right here.
Did it ever turn like, did anyone try to ever have sex with a chicken, or was it?
No, I only did like 4 or 5, and then the last one was my one that I quit. I had to drive outside of Atlanta to do a woman's 40th birthday party, and the thing is, you do this strippergram. Like I had like 6 shirts on, so every time I take off a shirt, there would be another one underneath. You get the bit.
5 times at least.
Exactly. Yeah. So they were so drunk that they thought I was a real stripper, and I was like, I'm not. And it got uncomfortable with hands and dollar bills until finally one woman grabbed like this miniature chihuahua and opened up my boxer shorts and stuffed it down. And I remember looking at the dog and the dog looking at me and being like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We both got college degrees.
What kind of dog was it?
I was like, I don't know, like a miniature chihuahua? Are there mini chihuahuas or are these chihuahuas?
I think a chihuahua's already miniaturized.
Yeah.
What college does the chihuahua go to?
I don't know. I mean, probably like DeVry or Phoenix.
The chihuahuas are good with computers.
Got a communications degree, still trying to figure out what it means.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, he doesn't have much time to figure it out. This thing's
he's a
lived
dog.
like 7 years.
Yeah. So I did that, and then on the way home, I called and quit. I was like, I can't do this anymore. But I learned a very valuable lesson is that the guy who gave me the gig was an older actor, and he came out to me. He's like, hey, man, I can't do this gig anymore. I'm really busy. I think you'd be great at it. It's a sweet gig. It pays. And I realized that if it's really a good gig, an actor doesn't give it to somebody else. Like he was just pawning this off on me so he wouldn't have to do it.
Yeah, I got another great job. You gotta come over and rake leaves for a few hours.
I dress as a chicken though. It's great work.
I just can't do it anymore because it sucks. But
Yeah, basically that was it. He was like, this job sucks and I'm done.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then came the day you were introduced to Second City.
Yeah, in Atlanta, they came and did a show in Second City did a show in Atlanta, and I got cast in it. And I did it for the run 2 months, and then afterwards they offered me a job on a cruise ship.
And just for people who don't know, Second City is considered the birthplace of improv.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
Big deal. A lot of the alumni, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray,
Tina Fey,
Steve Carell,
Steve Colbert,
Amy Poehler.
Amy
Poehler.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of SNL people.
Yeah, when you go visit the theater, there's just walls lined with every decade, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, just so many people you see all over the place. And one of the most best improvisers of all time, the Sonic guy, TJ.
He is one of the best improvisers I've ever met. Hands down.
I've heard that from a lot of people. And even those Sonic commercials are hilarious. They've been doing it forever, and they probably don't have a script. They probably just give them the fucking tater tots and say, here, be funny.
Yeah. I mean, his mind works on another level, which is amazing. He's thinking 7 steps ahead of everybody and connecting ideas that you would never expect. It's intimidating to watch him.
Also rewarding.
Oh, my God, yeah. And one of the nicest guys ever. He'll talk to you. He's great. He loves to talk to people. I think that's what makes him a great improviser, is that he's curious about everything. Like if you were to hey man, I went to Northwestern, but I didn't get in the writing program. I'd be like, oh, what'd you write? Like he would ask you questions about it.
Apparently a crappy essay to get it.
Apparently 2 shitty stories.
But now you're sharing the name with those big people in Atlanta. Yeah. You're sharing the name. You're performing on a stage, kind of, that they did under the same name.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Oh, yeah. No, my Second City experience was amazing. It's still going. I went to Chicago and toured for 2 years with them, which was an amazing experience to travel the country and do shows that failed in front of people, which is awesome.
Sounds awesome.
I think as a performer, you have to fail here and there to continually keep growing. Otherwise, you can't knock them out of the park every time. Otherwise, it becomes too easy.
That's why I like to think we have bad podcast shows.
Yeah.
To show that the good ones.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
No, this one's
now?
good.
Is this one's a good one?
No, this is a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Because I'm just phoning this shit in. Like I'm just.
This is the Rolls Royce of my show. RDLK. This is the best episode. This is the best episode by far.
Ever.
Right. But I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir. Ask away.
Ask away. So you quit singing Telegram. You didn't have any gigs going. Second City wasn't paying much.
Uh-huh.
You needed another way.
Yeah.
Another source of income.
Mm-hmm.
And this came through a 4-month trip.
Oh, yeah, on a cruise ship.
On a boat.
Yeah. Second City used to be on NCL, doing the shows, doing comedy on the high seas.
NCL.
Yeah. Norwegian Cruise Lines.
Okay. I don't think that people recognize those initials as Norwegian Cruise Lines.
No. So, what do you think it stands for?
Well, Norwegians.
I feel like anyone who is alive would probably not connect NCL with Norwegian Cruise Lines. First, get up. That's just me. I feel like if I said, RDLK, they don't know what that is.
Is that a cruise line?
That's Robbie D and the Lesser Notes. That's my show. The one you're on right now.
That's what it's called?
If I was on the boat, I would know what NCL stood for, I think.
So if you're on the show, you should know what it stands for?
I think that was a parallel joke there.
Yeah. We got it.
It's funny.
I liked it.
Thank you.
It took me a minute. But that's because it's deep. 7 steps ahead.
Just like TJ. What tell me about this boat. I got to hear about this.
Man, it's like a floating prison. Because the ship is your home and then people keep coming on it and leaving it dirty.
Coming on it in more ways than one.
Yeah. It was just an amazing experience to work on a cruise ship. We were in the Mediterranean, so it was it was Europe and the Middle East and Africa. So I got to see the pyramids. I got to go inside pyramids in Egypt, which is phenomenal. To be able to do that more than once in your lifetime is incredible. But
I can only imagine the cheesy improv jokes you said when you were there.
in the pyramids,
yeah.
I was like, man, this looks like a scheme.
Ding.
Ding.
One. One. Yes. Oh, the Mediterranean.
Everyone just at that moment, oh Jesus, just leave Tim alone. he's all alone.
Am I right? So what's up with these pyramids, huh? I get the point.
Leave it for the fucking cruise ship, Tim.
So what did you do for the boat?
We did sketch and improv, but doing sketch for 500 Germans sometimes is not the best experience because sometimes they're very reserved, and it's American humor. It's written in English, so they have to translate. So sometimes you do that show and you're working real hard, and it's hold for smiles because they weren't laughing.
Oh, look, they stopped performing. We should clap now. Oh.
I find that last scene very derivative. And you're like, oh, man. I was like, come on.
Well, that's funny. We have McDonald's in Stuttgart.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's like, hey, can I get a suggestion? Like Schadenfreude. And you're like, oh, man. Ugh. But it was a great experience. But cruise ships, man, it's another world. Like, if you fall off a cruise ship, you're done. They told us that. That's like number one rule. They're like, hey, FYI, like if you fall off this, we're not gonna find you. I was like, you serious? He's like, yeah. One, we really don't want to, and two, you're probably gonna die anyway. So they're like, don't fall off. And you hear people all the time falling off of cruise ships. I'm like, oh. Some drunk guy fell off the 4th balcony, and like, yeah, he's gone. We were cruising one time, and the captain comes on, is like, and he was Norwegian and just so droll. He's like, hello, we are altering course to go around for another 2 hours as a other cruise ship has lost a passenger, so we will do circles. So they would like, any ship that was in like 2 hours would just circle in this one area. And if they're not going to find them, but they would try. Let's see, other cool things about cruise ships. They,
That story just ends.
yeah,
They're not
just
gonna
like
try.
your life. If you fall off, you're not going to be found.
Moral of the story, if you fall off, you better bring a...
There's a morgue on every cruise ship.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
I've heard
die.
that.
Like, so if you ever go on a cruise ship, you hear these codes. They're like, oh, you have a code, Oscar, on balcony B. I have a code, whatever the name is. And you don't know what they are, but we do. Like, one's a fire code, one's a heart attack, one's death. So that if, as a worker, if you hear that code, you know what to go do and not startle the passengers. But they would always have people die on the cruise ship. Yeah, and then wherever you die, they dump you off at the next port.
I read somewhere that Code Orange in grocery stores is like if there's a threat.
Spilled orange juice.
It's spilled orange juice, exactly.
Yeah.
Be careful. But if you ever hear Code Orange in grocery stores, get out.
Get out.
Get out.
Just
Fair
get
enough.
This orange juice is going to go sour.
Did you hear that, RDLK listeners? If you hear Code Orange in a Vaughn's or a Ralph's or whatever grocery store is in your
Get out.
neighborhood, get the piss out of there.
And watch the orange juice on the floor.
Unless there's orange juice on the floor, get the hell out of that
Yeah.
store immediately.
Oh, man.
But what about how do the cruise ships treat you?
They did not treat us well. Like, we had a pretty sweet deal because we were considered passengers. So we got to stay in passenger cabins, and we got to go anywhere we want on ship as Second City. And people resented that, other workers. And it's like, hey, man, we didn't draw this job out of a hat. Like, I had to work for it and audition. It's not like, this is my job. But the cruise ship, every time, like, the cruise would go over, so 7, 9, or 12 days, they would, port, and then people would go off, people would come on. And they'd always be like, we're moving you to crew quarters. And we're like, no, our contract says we get passenger cabins. So every cruise, Second City would have to call and like remind them that like, this is the contract. We can't get sent down there. It was always just a battle because I think they're just really corrupt, the cruise industry. I really do. I think they are all of the workers were out of the Philippines. And I was talking to one of the Filipino workers, and I'm like, how long do you work? And they're like, oh, like 22 hours. And I was like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. I'm like, do you get a break? They're like, no. And I was like, isn't that against the rules? They're like, what rules? We're in international waters. The Philippines doesn't have labor laws. Like, this is not America. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It is the country where their president is advocating murdering drug dealers, like in
Yeah.
the streets. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if you're on a cruise ship, like,
he doesn't give a shit.
no, you're in open waters. Anything can happen. So, yeah, I don't think I'd ever go on a cruise again.
No.
No, I wouldn't. Now that I know, like, how it works and, like,
Now that I know I could die.
yeah, I wouldn't. There's a lot of other stuff that I can't tell you guys.
It's a floating prison/death trap.
Yeah. There's always this disease. It's a virus that's on every ship. They call it GI, and it's just part of the deal. And if your ship gets too many cases of GI, which is basically you get the flu for like 24 hours, you shit and vomit. And if the crew, every ship is allowed to have so many per people. But if it goes over a certain number, they change you can't serve yourself because that spreads the disease, the virus. And if it goes over another certain number, they have to dock and clean the ship, go through. So if you ever get it and you go to the medic, when these, you go to the Meg and like, hey, I don't feel well. I've been having all these symptoms. They quarantine you for 24 hours. That's their way of dealing with it. It's like you can't spread it. Because if it gets too high, they have to dock, and then it spends millions of dollars cleaning the ship. So they try to hide any problems as much as they can so they don't have to deal with it, which made total sense. So I got it one time, and I just hid from doctors for like 24 hours.
I didn't want to be kicked off the ship.
No, I don't want to be, like, they would throw you in your room for 24 hours. You'd be quarantined.
You like in a lifeboat, just
Yeah.
like, with some crackers.
Oh, look, here we are in
Under
Cairo.
control.
Yeah, good luck.
Get off the boat. Have a nice flight home to the U.S. For this next part, I'm going to go James Lipton for you.
Mm-hmm.
Then came the day you, sir, made your break into stardom. You became a member of a movie with dynamite, talented cast. Directed by none other than Tom Day. Starring Matthew McConaughey, Sarah Jessica Parker, Zooey Deschanel, Justin Bartha, who played Doug in the Hangover movies, Terry Bradshaw, Kathy Bates, a young, talented Bradley Cooper, and on that same billing, Tim Stoltenberg.
Yes, for my one line.
Wait for it. Just let me do my thing. The name of this movie I'm talking about is none other than, of course, Failure to Launch.
Mm-hmm.
There was no failure about it, my friend. It launched you into the 21st century of Hollywood stardom.
I love that your James Lipton almost has like a Winston Churchill quality to him. We will fight on the beaches. We will fight in the air.
We will make movies on beaches.
Yeah, we will make movies in the air. We will not tarry. We will not fail.
So this is amazing. I can't believe you got in this movie. It's hilarious. It's funny. I can only imagine how much you had to say. Go ahead. I mean, do you even have time to say all the lines you said?
We'll try to squeeze it in. You guys can edit around it. Hey, can you turn it up?
Oh, the volume? Here, let me...
No. That's the line. Hey, can you turn that up? Or, hey, can you turn that up? Or, hey, can you turn that up? Yeah, man. I mean, I can do it. What do you need me to do with it? And I'm going to give you a bunch of takes.
Emphasis on can and up.
I can. Okay. Hey, can you turn that up?
Can you get the emphasis on hey and then throw the rest of it away?
Okay. Hey, can you turn that up? Yeah. I don't want to brag, but I think Bradley Cooper turned around and gave me the thumbs up. He was like, nice.
Did you make the final cut of the movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
That one line, man. It's in there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I imagine that this led to more encounters with Tom Day.
Never saw the man again.
Okay, fair
Never
enough.
saw the man again.
You and McConaughey stay in touch?
And only people I saw on set were Mr. Cooper, Justin, and Zoe. And I think I ran into each one of them at the catering table as I was getting nuts. I was like, hey, man. And they're like, hey. And that was about it.
Can you pass me some nuts?
Yeah. It's like, are you done with those almonds? Yeah.
I tell you, I don't know what they're thinking. You should have been top billing for sure.
Would have been nice, you know? Nothing like being in New Orleans for 7 days to say one line.
Wait, you were in New Orleans? That was in New Orleans?
I think it was New Orleans. Yeah, it was. Or was it Charleston? I don't know.
Charleston.
Was it Charleston?
Yeah.
I was in Charleston for like 7 days.
I can find out.
Where did it film?
See, that, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I want to get in my stardom, is that when I'm so famous that I can't remember where I filmed stuff.
I know it was in the South and there was water.
It's Baton Rouge
Well,
and New Orleans.
I guess it was New Orleans.
There's no mention of South Carolina.
Yeah.
New Orleans it is. Did you
Yeah.
have a hand grenade?
Not that time, but I have had those.
Did you have a hurricane?
I did.
I thought you were talking about an actual hand grenade.
Now it's a drink.
These are New Orleans libations.
Yeah, which is good.
I know what a hurricane is.
It was very good.
Yeah, I've had one. They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
They make your mouth turn like orange.
Yeah. Hurricanes are sweet.
Like when people are drunk in New Orleans, they're just like, hey, have you been drinking? And you're just like, no, but your whole mouth is bright orange. You're like, I haven't, like, imagine lying to your parents. I haven't had anything to drink.
Oh my God, you smell like Kool-Aid. Get out of here. So sweet.
I was just eating an orange sucker.
You're not even wearing a shirt. You've been drinking.
I don't know where my shirt is.
Yeah, exactly. You've been drinking.
I lost it in an hour.
I got beads.
Bourbon Street is fun.
But that's the amazing thing. Like, you go to Bourbon Street and people are throwing beads just like any time of the year now.
Yeah.
Which is, no, it's only supposed to happen during Mardi Gras, right?
Oh, I know when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, but people are still like throwing beads, and it's like, no.
I don't have a problem with people partying too much. You know, like that should be a year-round party. If I go there and I can't afford to go during Mardi Gras, I want a bead experience.
I suppose,
I
yeah.
want to see boobs that shouldn't be exposed, but they are.
I got news for you. Those days are long over, my friend.
Yeah.
Ever since cell phones are having cameras, nobody.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, ever since
You see way less.
what's it called? The
Girls Gone Wild?
Girls Gone Wild. Ever
Yeah.
since that came out, that killed that.
Yeah.
Joe, whatever his name was, it turned out to be an embezzler and pervert.
Oh, yeah.
Ruined it. I mean, obviously, if this is what he was doing with his life, I can't blame him. He's very rich. However, this is what he
I like how people were surprised. Like, whoa, you're telling me the guy who coerces college boys to show their breasts
Is not
embezzling money?
good? Yeah.
The funny thing is, I was actually in New Orleans the year they filmed the Snoop Dogg one, and I saw it happening, but I didn't know what it was at the time because it wasn't out.
Yeah.
There's this bar on the Tulane campus called The Boot. Holla to the Boot. It's right in the middle of campus, and it's just a college bar. But Snoop Dogg was there filming the Girls Gone Wild with Snoop. All I saw was cameras and Snoop Dogg partying. I'm in the crowd just woo, having a good time. And then like a month later, I'm at home. The infomercial came on. I was like, damn. Thank God I'm not a
Thank God I
chick.
kept my shirt on.
Yeah.
Robbie's in there.
Snoop-a-loop. Bring your green hat.
Yeah,
But-
Snoop doesn't talk about that part of his life, does he? Or it's like, I did Girls Gone Wild tape. He doesn't mention that.
Or his his murder accusations doesn't talk about those.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably can't.
I suppose he can't.
Yeah.
Him and Martha are big friends now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they? Did Snoop Dogg ever go to jail for anything?
Sure. It
I'm
went
sure
maybe
they
like
are.
24 hours.
He
or
came to
something.
Northwestern, had a blast. That was my
Yeah.
first concert.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was
I bet he's
fun.
amazing. He would be amazing to sit down and talk to.
Seriously, one of the I had the best time.
Make a note. Let's get him on the show.
All right,
Yeah,
here.
it's that
Next
easy?
week, I'll just hit up.
Yeah. No, it really is that easy. Yeah, I mean, no offense.
None. Yeah, man, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I had to buy you a breakfast burrito you didn't eat.
I'm going to eat it afterwards.
Are you?
Yeah. What? I was guaranteed a burrito.
It was actually just a tinfoil filled with paper. I was
It's
hoping
tinfoil filled with more tinfoil and a soda can.
I was
You're
hoping
like, what the
you
fuck is
weren't
this?
going to eat it.
Can you swear
Hey, I
on
got
this?
you one. Oh, Jesus.
Can you swear on your podcast?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, please.
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah, please.
By all means. I don't do it because I'm a good Christian man.
You absolutely do it.
Mm.
But you can just say all the swear words you want, like oopsie poopsies and
Sam
wiener.
Hill.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
Judas Priest. That was my dad's favorite curse word. Judas Priest. What are you doing? What in Sam Hill were you thinking?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that. So failure to launch turned out to be just fantastic.
Yeah, a failure
I
to
loved your
launch,
work.
literally.
But I'm even more excited to hear about when you played a mime.
Yeah, so
In the
many of the
short
people,
film, The Adventure.
yeah, many people don't because it's just radio, but I am very good with physical gestures in comedy.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine was like, hey man, I'm shooting this short film and I want to mime and I think you'd be great and I want to work with you. And I was like, I'd love to, Mike. It'd be fun. So we shoot outside of Atlanta in this old reservoir and it's a 2-day shoot and the first day we're there and it's like early morning, like just dawn and the production crew is gathering around and the mist is settling over Atlanta as it moves through the south and from the mist comes this janitor emptying the garbage cans. And he's like, hey, what are you doing here? And the person's like, we're shooting a short film. We have the permits. If you need to see them, we'll be on this area, and whatever. And he's like, all right. And then before he leaves, he turns around and he goes, well, just look out for those gays. And walked back into the mist. And we all look at each other like, what a dick. Who says that? Like, come on, man. This is 2000 whatever. The South, this is never going to change, you know? So we all like looked around and be like, no, sorry. Everybody's apologizing to everybody like, sorry. So So then the day goes on and I'm in mind makeup and we finish the morning and they're like, all right, Tim, you're going to drive down like a mile down this road and you're going to see a turn. Just turn in there and wait and we'll come get you and walk you to the next location.
Do you have like a mime outfit? Like, you have the
I
whole,
did.
the whole
Classic
thing?
mime. The stripes, tight pants, the beret, the gloves. So I'm in my car and I drive down and I see the turn. So I go in and it's a small parking lot. And there's like cars at every other stall. So I pull in and I'm sitting there just going over the script. And this car pulls up next to me. And this dude rolls down his window and he's like, hey. And I'm assuming he's from the shoot. So I do a little like mime, like tip of the hat and like, goofy eyes. And he looks at me and he goes, what are you doing? So I decide, like, it's lunchtime, right? So I mime eating a banana to him. Like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And the look in his eyes was like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there and we're looking at each other. And obviously we don't know each other and there's a misconnection. And then I look in my rearview mirror and I see other men getting out of their cars and going into the passenger side of cars. And then, like, I can hear the janitor's voice in the back of my head, look out for the gays, the gays, the gays. And I'm like, what? And then I put it together. Oh, this is a hookup spot. This is where you go, you park your car, you can meet other dudes and have your experience. And then I look at him and it clicks. And I realize, like, oh no, I'm not. And I felt so bad because I'm like, I bet this guy thought he hit the jackpot. He's like, dude, I met a mime today at the hookup spot. It was amazing. And like, in that moment, I just slowly roll up my window and back out and pull out because I was just like, I don't know what to say. Like, And then I finally pull out and there's a guy in the road. He's like, what are you doing, Tim? And I'm like, and he's like, you got to go down this way. But I felt so bad because I felt like I ruined this guy's like fantasy experience,
You really teased it.
That's the thing. Like, if I were him, I'm sitting in the parking lot and a car pulls up. We all know why you're here, right? You're here because you want to meet a dude and hook up. And this guy's dressed like a fucking mime. Like, this is gonna get wild.
Banana, right?
Oh my god.
That banana.
Yeah. I mean, but did you ever think about the perspective of the producer? Saw you pulling out of the parking lot. Was like, fucking Tim just getting a blowjob before we film. That pervert.
Actors are actors. Everybody's got needs, and like,
Hey, where's Tim at? We need him on set. Oh, he's in the parking lot.
I'll be back.
All right.
20 minutes. It was just, and like, I was flattered for a moment, and also like I felt very like guilt because I feel guilty about a lot of things of like that's not my fault, and I felt bad for him that like I was there, and then like I'm like no, just kidding, and ran away.
More importantly, how'd the movie turn out?
Really good. It was a lot of fun, a great experience. There is this picture, I wish I had it. It's me sitting in the back of the equipment truck, dressed as a mime. I think I was smoking a cigarette, and someone took it in black and white. And I wish I had it because it's such a cool picture. I just wish I had it.
Well, you're in luck. We have a surprise.
No,
Will,
no,
bring it up. Bring it up. Do it.
It's that guy from the parking lot.
I got his number.
Yeah, the guy you never got to hook up with is here in studio.
But know that there's some dude going around telling this story from the opposite side of like, did I ever tell you about the time I was hooked up with a mime?
Dude, if he ever hears this podcast, I want to do let's post it in the in Craigslist.
Yeah, misconnections. Yeah.
It was my first mime. I was nervous.
Mime, me, gray Camry. You got scared and ran away.
Take that, Toyota, in case you want to get a gray Camry mime commercial. We'll be glad to shoot that for you and be our sponsor. It's a fantastic story, Tim. I am delighted, but unfortunately, we must move on.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about you're hitting the bright lights of Wacker Street.
Oh, that's not Hollywood. That's Chicago.
That's Chicago.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back.
Hey.
So, we now are on Second City, and we're moving to Chicago.
We're in Chicago.
Well, what inspired this move from Atlanta to Chicago?
I love Atlanta. It's a great place, and like Dad's is my artistic home. But I'm from the Midwest, and I was missing kind of like being in the Midwest, and Second City was something that intrigued me, the work and what they did, that I was like, I think this is a good opportunity for me to challenge myself for my next chapter in my life. I went there and I toured for 2.5 years and did shows with them in Chicago for like 2 years. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot, and they're a great training place, and the people that are there are amazing to work with. They don't pay you enough to live, but the experience is great.
And you got to perform in the actual theater where all the
Yeah.
big names perform.
Oh, yeah. And like, there's nothing better than like writing a sketch and putting it up in front of an audience, and it works. And you're like, oh my God, that was funny. Like 200 people laughed at what I created. And it was amazing. And you got to do it not just like once a week, like 3 or 4 times a week. So you're continually working on what you do, and you're talking to other comedians and working with other comedians. And the people I met in Chicago that I toured with are still real good friends of mine that I still work with now in LA. We still work on ideas and collaborations and shows. So yeah, it was great. I'm really happy I did it.
Is there ever any? I know you remember your colleagues, but do you remember any guests that come to the audience at all?
Oh, one time we did a show in front of Fred Willard, and who is Second City alumni and very has a great career, amazing career, and someone that you look up to as a comedian. Like, he's really good. And he was the MC for some convention that we were at, like the guest speaker or whatever. And then Second City was there to do a show, and we did a show, and it was terrible. And we bombed. No one laughed. No one got it. We weren't good, and we got off stage. And like, all we wanted to do was to do a good show in front of Fred Willard, to be like, hey, remember when you were like us? Like, we're carrying the torch. We're doing good. And he just goes, hey, you guys got a great energy, which in the theater world means like, I know the show sucked, but I have to say something nice. So let me compliment on you energy. You had a great energy. And we all know what it meant. And we're like, oh, we disappointed Fred Willard. Felt so bad.
But he's so nice, he won't say anything.
No, yeah, that's the thing, you know? That was, yeah, I didn't really meet too many celebrities at Second City.
It's okay.
Yeah.
If it's all right with you, I'd like to do my Winston Churchill impression now.
Please do, yes.
Upon moving to Chicago,
Uh-huh.
arriving Wacka Street, Sears Tower, John Hancock Building, Tim Stoltenberg. You found success early with the TV show Chicago Fire, Sirens, T-Mobile commercial, AT&T commercial. You filmed it on the beach. You filmed it in the air.
We will not quit.
You will not quit making movies. No, but seriously, those are all real credits. You did some TV shows, Chicago Fire, Sirens,
Yeah.
couple commercials. So you did some good work there.
Yeah, Chicago's a great city, wonderful city. Met a lot of nice people and got some great opportunities to work on TV and commercials. They're all fun. Chicago Fire, we shot in like January. It was freezing cold in Chicago, so that was fun. Sirens, I got to ride a horse because I was a horse cop, which was cool.
I could see that.
Yeah. And then the other commercials were filmed. T-Mobile we filmed in Chicago. Other ones we filmed out of state, which was nice to get out of Chicago in the winter.
Yeah. Did you have any missed hookup connections on any of those sets or anything?
No, I didn't. I wish I did. No, the T-Mobile commercial, I remember we shot in somebody's basement, and it was like, Tim, you're like, and this is what I get a lot in, like, hey, Tim, we're looking for a guy who's like adult, not cool, but kind of hip, probably hasn't figured out his life and lives in his parents' basement. And I'm like, oh, I can play that. So T-Mobile was that, and when I got there, and they had hired like 6 models, and there was a party, but it was just girls. And I was like, hey, why is there just girls at this party? It's very bizarre. And they're like, it's fine, don't worry about it. And I was just talking to somebody else saw that spot the other day. And they were like, yeah, it's a weird party. It was all girls. I was like, yeah, it was. It's very bizarre. But fun nonetheless.
Yeah. Who are you to complain?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, all right, here we go. Let's do this.
Who am I to complain about that?
All right.
Yeah, and it seems a bit weird, just 6, maybe 10 girls next to them.
Yeah, not big party. It was weird.
Chicago ate up its time, and you said
Headed to the west.
Head to west.
Yeah.
That's southwest, I guess, really, from
Yeah.
Chicago to here.
Yeah.
We're in LA.
LA, baby. Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Oh man,
It was calling you.
it still hasn't called. Still waiting for that call, you know.
Well, you have a phone.
You did one late night text a few years back.
You up? And I was like, oh. Hey, with 3 Y's.
I should have got up.
WYD.
Yeah.
So you moved to LA. What inspired the move?
You know, LA has always been, I mean, it's where everybody goes, right? Everybody goes to take the next step and whatever that is. And I love living in Chicago and doing what I was doing, but I wanted to try more TV and film or see that side of writing or see that side of production and, you know, come out here and check it out and still trying to figure it out. Like this is my 4th year and I feel for the first time, like, I think I understand myself in LA. It's a different place, you know. It's not like Chicago. It's not like Atlanta. It's its own being of the business and social life. So you got to find where you fit in with everything.
I think they said if you stay in LA for 3 years, you'll stay forever.
Yeah.
How long you been here for?
4. This is going my 4th year. Yeah.
You can't leave.
That's it.
It's just like the cruise ship.
It owns me. Yeah, it's a floating prison. Earth is a floating prison.
It's going to be a floating prison after this next earthquake. We're going to be right out there.
Yeah, we'll be on our own.
If you excuse me, I'm going to do my James Lipton Churchill impression.
Please.
Oh, Jesus.
James Churchill.
Upon moving to Los Angeles, Tim Stoltenberg made his mark by booking television commercials. You may have seen him getting around, stomping grapes, and doing various activities thanks to Southwest low flights that never exist when I search. But they're out there. But it's not about me, it's about you. Southwest Airlines, Dollar Shave Club where your hands are creamy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know you're going to have more commercials to come.
I hope so. The Southwest one was tons of fun. Like we shot for like 5 days and we traveled all over LA.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was really great.
Those commercials, you just shoot one day and then you get the residuals and you make your money. But if you have to shoot 5 days, that's a pretty solid check.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. And then still, moved to LA and that first year and a half was great. And then there was that lull for like a year and a half. And then now things seem to be like, I think you figure yourself out of how you fit in. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I work at Second City here, teaching, doing shows.
I say the whole time you've never gave up improv. You moved to LA and you've always had a theater to move to, and Second City's here on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple of those shows.
Yeah, it keeps, the great thing about improv is as an actor, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps training to always be listening in the moment and thinking of, as a comedian, like new bits I can do, new characters, or new areas I can explore that I haven't thought about because I was forced to, thrown in the moment to respond. And like, oh, that's a good idea. I should do that. It's forced me to start doing stand-up.
Yeah, doing stand-up now.
Yeah, failing at stand-up now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went the other direction. I was a stand-up that went into improv, and I failed at improv forever. It's a completely different skill set.
It is.
Completely different. You think it'd parallel? Nah.
It's not.
Nah.
But there's got to be somewhere where they meet, you know?
They do that? For those of you can't tell, he's crossing his arms into somewhat of an X pattern with his hands.
Yeah, they got to meet in the middle somewhere, right? There's that, what do you call that, the apex where they meet?
I feel like there are parts of improv that are beneficial in stand-up and vice versa, but just parts. Yeah. I think the reason why I was so awful at improv when I first started doing it is because I kept winking at the audience with my improv jokes, which never works.
No, they don't like that.
It's terrible. It's all about in the moment, the relationships on stage.
Yeah.
And I would forego that and say, hey, here I am, telling you a joke, me and you. Forget this guy who's over here building a kitchen.
Wait, in your stand-up, were you winking at the audience a lot?
No. I mean the proverbial wink at the audience. Yeah. And then it's also the other direction. Like it's like in stand-up, you have to draw a mental picture for them with your words, which I guess improv could help that. But I wouldn't know. You tell me.
I think that's the challenge. Like my new challenge is how can I combine those two together? I don't know. I'll keep failing at it until I find something that works. I think the great thing about improv is that it's constant failure. You're up there and you have to figure out in the moment, which keeps you like mentally sharp and focused on it. And I love it.
You think improv translates well to the audition room?
100%. 100% of walking in and keeping it low stakes and taking the idea that is given to you in that 1, 2, 3 pages and being able to be in the moment, that whatever happens. I did this audition and I was playing a young dad and I flubbed a line like halfway through and I was like, let me start again. And I did it, and I had a good fine take the second time, but afterwards the woman just goes, I really wish you would have kept going in that first one because it was so honest. It was like you made like a dad joke and it was great. And I was like, you're right. If I would just kept going with it, it would have been a great read on the character. And I was like, I should have just kept improvising instead of worrying about being right or wrong. Be in the moment and you'll be fine.
Commercials, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that actors do a lot, that no matter how it's going in your head, just don't cut yourself.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, if it's like really egregious, right? Maybe you can cut yourself. But for the most part, people will be doing something super funny and coming from a place of such honesty, telling the truth.
Yeah.
Like on this show.
Conspiracy.
Thank you. And they'll cut themselves because it's not the perfect wording, or they feel silly because it's not at all what they're supposed to do. And all of a sudden it's like, let me start over. I'm like, why did you do that? It was great. And then the next take they do, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But it's not quite as honest and true as what they were just doing.
Yeah, and I think as an improviser, actor, you're always trying to find those moments when it feels so natural. That's what we're always trying to do. Just be natural, man. That's all I'm trying to do in my life, just be natural, be honest.
Judas Priest, man.
Yeah, what in Sam hell were you thinking?
You are natural. Speaking of natural, we need to move on to our next segment. Tim.
Yeah.
Cue the tension-filled music.
Ooh.
Is that the NFL?
I don't know.
That sounded like the NFL.
I thought it was like Jurassic Park, but like a poor rendition of Jurassic Park.
I could do the Jurassic Park.
And? Welcome to Jurassic Park.
They do move in herds.
Yeah, they do move in herds.
Boy, this tension-filled moment just got splashed like a bug on a windshield in South Georgia. So let's cue the real music. All right, Tim Stoltenberg.
Yes, sir.
Strap in your seatbelt to that director's chair.
Okay.
You're about to take part in a little segment we call method acting.
Ah, yes.
I'm going to give you the situation,
Uh-huh.
and you're going to give me the line that character would say in that moment.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
You're at a cheese farm, farming some cheese, and you realize this cheese is not as good as you thought it was.
Hey, can you turn it up?
Next scenario. You're on a cruise ship. This cruise ship is sailing to Wilmington, Delaware, and you thought it was going to the Bahamas.
I should have gone to graduate school.
It's very good. Next scenario. A homeless man exposes himself to you on the streets.
Surprise!
So you're saying that to the homeless man?
Yeah. See, the great thing about surprise, you can use it at any time. This is my new thing I've started doing. That when people walk into me, like sometimes you're in the bathroom and somebody will walk in on you, I immediately just yell, surprise! It's because they're like, wait, what? Why are you yelling surprise to me? And then you're like, exactly.
That truly is method. You're doing an improv show. Tina Fey, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray are in the back wearing a mime costume trying to hook up with you.
Marry, fuck, kill. I marry Tina Fey. I fuck Bill Murray. And I kill Dan Aykroyd. That is the right answer.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Surprise.
Surprise! See, it works on anything.
We're done with that segment, and you made it.
Alternate answer would be marry Bill Murray. Fuck Tina Fey.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
I would fuck all three of them. Done.
Yeah.
That's the right answer.
Do you know how to play this game?
I do. I sure do.
I like to phone a friend.
All right, Tim, I'm going to get you out of here on the same question I ask every one of my guests, and that is, what would Tim Stoltenberg right now tell Tim Stoltenberg in his car driving to Atlanta to start his career?
Oh, fail more. Take the opportunities to fail. I think we use fear as an excuse not to get out there. But that's the only way we get better, is by failing and facing fear. Is coming out of that, you become a better person and a better performer. And then the thing I would say is that enjoy what you do. I mean, even today, I look out at an audience they've paid money to see me improvise or perform, and I'm blown away that they have come to spend their money on watching me and my friends make shit up and have fun. And anytime you can get a group of people together and unite them in something positive like laughter, like, the world becomes a better place just for 3-5 seconds. We forget about the problems in the world, our own worries, and we unite in positivity. And that is the most humbling experience to be part of it. And to be the catalyst for that experience is the reason why I do comedy and performing, is to unite people in laughter. And that's the real reward. It's not the money. It's not anything else. That's why I do it. And I know, like, as a performer, no matter where I go in my career or the ups and downs I have, having that ability to unite people will always keep me moving forward.
I love it. Fail more, enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
Words from a man who knows how to fail and enjoys what he does.
Surprise!
There he is. Tim, I want to say thank you very much for being here today. Fantastic show. We wish you nothing but success in the future. Producer Will, great job.
Yeah.
Snaps the fingers. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard Tim Stoltenberg here as a lesser known, but I know he's going to be a big star one day, so we look forward to watching your career. Can't wait till you invite me to your mansion in the hills for a party. And thank you, noble listener, for tagging along and hearing our story today. Make sure to tune in next week when we have none other than our guest, Snoop Dogg. He's going to be here. We're going to make sure to make that happen. If it's not Snoop Dogg, just check in and we'll have somebody. So in any case, have a great week. Thanks, guys.
Robbie D and the lesser known.